Hi, we're the Tenacious testers working on the CodeChompers project, a web application to test students' code for security vulnerabilities. I'm Kathleen Tiley, the Scrum Master. Hope Pega is our team leader, and Zachary Skirm is our developer. And now I'll show you a walkthrough of our project. Here's the things we're going to cover. First, I'm going to sign up and then log into our application. So here's our main application page. I can create a new account down here. And I'll use this as the username and password. And we've signed up successfully, and it's automatically logged us in. So now I'm going to upload a code file with two different file types, JavaScript and Python files. It is here. And all I need to do is hit submit, and we get a message that the upload was successful. And now on the overview page, we see that we have the mixed zip file, our zip folder here with some details about it. If I click view more, I'm able to see more information about the severity scores and the number of detections for each of the files that are in the zip folder. You see some of them are JavaScript and some of them are Python. If I click view more on a specific file, we see details about the errors that were found in that actual file. So here's the name and the description, and then some links to more information about the error. And here's one that had multiple detections, all listed. We can also just click out of this box instead of hitting close. Now, if I click here, I can search for eval. It comes up like that. And if I click here for graphs, I can see some metrics about the files in our folder. Some of these have to-dos that need to be fixed. We'll talk about that later. But in general, we can see the files that have the highest severity score, which is 8. These files are the most vulnerable. And then this will be a pie chart assessing the severity scores of all the files and the most common vulnerabilities. And then eventually we'll look at the number of vulnerabilities by language. All right. On the metrics page, we see a lot of the same graphs, but we'll see them about, instead of the files within a zip folder, all of the different zip folders that we've uploaded to our account. So right now we only have one, so that's our highest zip folder. But eventually there would be many listed here, and we'd also have a pie chart here, and a gauge showing the average severity score and severity scores over time for our multiple files based on the dates they were updated or uploaded. So here we can download reports in CSV format. We can download reports for multiple folders at once if we had multiple here. I'll show you, it pops up here, and then I can open it. And it's in a easy to read, easy to manipulate CSV Excel format with the error types, the message that's received, and the severity and frequency, and some statistics. All right. Now on the detectable security issues page, this shows you the severity scores, which we need to update, and also a list of all of the different errors, our issue types that we find for Python, and then further down for JavaScript. So you can link to more information about these and read more about the things that we're actually testing for. And now I'll go back to the overview page and then log out of our application, clicking this button up here. And now I'll pass it over to Hope to talk about some additional planned features.
So the next thing that we have to do is we're going to implement the feature to auto detect and unpackage nested zip folders. So if there's a folder within a folder, we'll unpackage that. The next thing is making some new metrics charts. So vulnerabilities by language, or pie charts of the different severities. And then lastly, we need to implement some more useful error message if a file upload fails. And then also on the upload page, we're going to give some pre-guidance on upload parameters. Now Zach is going to talk about our test plan.
Thank you, Hope. For our project test suite, we chose manual testing, as many tests would be difficult or impossible to automate. And I'll walk you through a couple of our test cases to give you an idea of how we run them. For example, test number 6 is an upload mixed file test. For this test, there are no preconditions, and our test steps are to upload a .zip folder containing both .py and .java files. Our test data is just that folder containing those files, and the expected result is a success upload message. There are no post conditions, and the status of that test in our testing is success and that it works as intended. Further, test 9 is to download an empty .csv file. The precondition is to have at least one zip file already uploaded to our database that has no detectable security errors. Our test step is to download the .csv file for just that specific .zip folder. Our test data is that file or folder with no errors, and the expected result is a .csv file output that has a test stating, or that has text stating that there were no detectable errors in the CSV file itself. And the actual result is that file with the expected message, so it is a success. And that's a brief overview of our testing suite. I'll now turn it back over to Hope to talk about project progress.
So we've run into a couple challenges with the implementation of this project. And the first one is when we run Psalm taint analysis, which will detect different PHP security vulnerabilities. It won't run correctly if the code base has existing PHP errors that aren't considered by Psalm to be security vulnerabilities. So it won't pick up any of those vulnerabilities that we're expecting it to see. So our strategy for this is we're going to continue with Psalm, but we're going to just detect normal PHP errors, but not include them in our total for the security vulnerabilities. And then our second challenge that we faced was on our force upgrade from HTTP to HTTPS. It's not upgrading as we expected it to. This was a fairly challenging ask, and it wasn't really a high priority for us. And right now it's not really viewed as a security risk. So we're just going to kind of leave this at the end of our product backlog. And now we're going to talk about our individual responsibilities. So for me, I've researched PHP security vulnerabilities. I also updated the detectable security issues page to include these PHP vulnerabilities. I implemented PHP code analysis using Psalm, and I've converted the output that Psalm produces to a map format so that the file name is the key and the errors are the values in this map. Next, what I'm going to do is compare errors being detected by Psalm with the list that I've created and calculate the total error detections for those PHP files.
For myself, I finalized and thoroughly tested our JavaScript testing functionality that I had implemented earlier. And then I simplified the severity score calculation and ensured we were tracking the severity score by file instead of by student. I did this for JavaScript, and I need to implement the same process for Python. I redesigned the metrics pages to be in line with the new database model we're using that's based on files instead of students. But as you saw during the demo, I still need to make some adjustments and fixes there. I need to adjust the pie chart so that it can support any severity score as opposed to a preset value. And I need to create the new chart that compares the vulnerabilities by programming language.
And for my contributions, I reworked some of the code base to allow the multiple file types to be uploaded simultaneously. Previously, the project just supported either .javascript or Python files, but now you can upload a folder with both. Reworked a little bit of the database storage to facilitate those multiple file types and make it compatible with some of the existing features. Added a UI enhancement with a spinner for the upload so the user knows the page hasn't hung, and fixed blank.csv file output, and fixed some errors with deleting files and logout issues. Created the test suite for our site, and then we did remove the federated logins that were previously implemented due to some privacy policy issues that we just couldn't reconcile with our site and Facebook.
All right, that's all. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed that update on our CodeChompers project.